Hey, NEXT16, my name is Ignacio Ponce. I'm from Southern California, Los Angeles area. I'm a recent graduate from Cal Poly Pomona. I'm currently studying to become a financial advisor where I'm looking forward to helping serve my community. And we're here to talk about what the world might be like if we lived in a world without fear. Let's go.
What's up, NEXT16? Make some noise! Is that it? All right. If you love God, make some noise! Awesome, awesome. If you're feeling all right, say, mm-hmm. Okay. Well, let's see. Woo! I'm glad to see you're all awake. Now, for those of you that are not awake, can we turn down the temperature a little bit more? Get it colder in there? No? Okay. All right, we'll keep it that way. Well, I originally had something different planned out for today, but a few weeks ago, I was laying in bed about to go to sleep when all of a sudden my mind started thinking, and then something hit me. And I started thinking to myself, well, you know, I was a college student a couple of months ago, and as college students, there are things that we fear. And there are things that stay lingering in the back of our minds. Questions such as, am I gonna have money to pay my bills? Am I gonna get the classes that I need? Am I gonna starve this week? Right? And the most important question, am I even gonna graduate? Does that sound familiar? Of course, right? But above all of these fears, I feel like there is one that we can all relate to. And that is the fear of failure. I want you to be honest with yourselves. How many of us have ever felt the fear of failure? It's that feeling where you second guess yourself about whether or not you're able to succeed. Like many of you, this is a fear that I have struggled with throughout my years in college and even after college. It's something that has troubled me. But the truth is that, sometimes we are gonna fail. We are gonna experience some sort of failure. I think it would be nearly impossible for anyone to not have failed at least once, and anyone who tells you otherwise just failed to be honest with you. Well, I graduated high school. I remember going to high school. I was having fun with friends and whatnot, and before I knew it, the time flew on by, and it was time for me to graduate from high school. Now, I don't know about all of you, but I didn't feel prepared. We get out of high school, and all of a sudden, we're supposed to know what we want to do for the rest of our lives? Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think that's how it works, at least not for me. So I graduated, and then I moved on to college, and while I was in college, I had to take a little bit of everything before I finally decided that I wanted to study business. And even after I knew that I wanted to get into business, well, now I had to do accounting, or do I want to do marketing, or management, you name it. So just more things that we have to choose. While I was in college, I had several small businesses throughout the years. I went from reselling textbooks to fixing and selling cell phones, and so on. But one business in particular was one where I dove right in with 2 feet. I invested the majority of my savings, and after constant effort, I ended up quitting. I was devastated, and I felt like a failure. I had invested all of this time and money into the business only to receive a little back in return. It wasn't until sometime later where I gave myself a reality check. And I remember praying to God and asking Him, God, I would pray for you every day to nourish my business and to help me get to where I want to be at. God, why didn't my business succeed? You see, I didn't realize that I was actually lying to myself. And it was at that moment where I realized that the biggest lies are the ones we tell ourselves. You know those lies where you tell yourself, oh yeah, the gym? I'm gonna go to the gym tomorrow. Yeah, but then tomorrow never comes, right? Or when you tell yourself, that project, I'll do that project tomorrow, but we end up doing it last minute, right? We are the biggest liars to ourselves. I made myself believe that I was doing everything possible, that I was doing everything necessary to make sure that my business succeeded. But the reality is that I wasn't. At times, I was doing the bare minimum, just enough to say that I was devoting time into my business. You see, sometimes we defeat ourselves before we even take that step forward. If we never fully take that step, we will never get to where we want to be at. You can't expect to give it your full effort when you have one foot on the inside and one foot on the outside. How are you going to move that way? You need to fully commit to reaching your goals, and you need to take that step forward. I failed not because I wasn't good enough or because I was incapable. I failed because I was scared of failing. I was not getting the results that I wanted, and I would make excuses, as many people do. We make excuses for ourselves and for our actions. I had the odds of being successful. The odds of being successful were against me. I had the fear of failure knocking at my doorstep, and I didn't do enough to push it away. Although I was disappointed for a while, I snapped out of it when I changed my mindset. Rather than thinking about the failure, I started to ask myself critical questions such as, what did I learn from this experience? How did I grow from this experience? And what mistakes will I never repeat again? I shifted my mentality from a negative to a positive one. When I finally began to think critical and change my mindset, that is when I remembered how I grew as a person and as a professional. I remembered meeting new people every single day and attending numerous working events. I was in a room with older professionals, and oftentimes I was the youngest guy in the room. But despite my age, I was respected for the way that I presented myself. And oftentimes, business owners would tell me, hey, you should come work for me. So I felt really, really blessed to be able to receive those opportunities. Although I didn't know it at the time, I was developing lifelong skills. When it comes to finally reaching a goal, sometimes people only see the glory side of it, such as, wow, they made it, they're so successful, wow, they're so lucky. But the truth is that behind every successful story lies a trail of failures, frustrations, and sleepless nights. How many of you know the story of Jonah? Well, a lot of you guys. That's awesome. Well, in the simplest form, God told Jonah that he needed to go to Nineveh to deliver a message. But Jonah said, I don't know, God, not me. I can't do it. Pick someone else, but I can't do it. You see, he was so scared that he even ran away and got swallowed by a big fish. Now, luckily for us, we're not going to get swallowed by a big fish, so we're okay. We'll be fine. But the point is that Jonah was scared of failing. And it wasn't until he overcame that fear of failing that he was able to do what God wanted him to do and deliver the message to save Nineveh. Okay, well, let me put it in a different context. How many of you know Michael Jordan? Right? Michael Jordan is arguably one of the best basketball players ever. And he said, I've failed. I've missed more than 9,000 shots. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot. I've failed over and over again in my life. And that is why I succeeded. Failure is just a condiment of success. When we finally reach our goal, it's going to taste that much sweeter. Our life is God's gift to us. And how we live our life is our gift to God. What kind of gift could we be giving if fear wasn't an issue? I speak to many individuals on a daily basis, and a lot of them are, I guess you could say they're a little bit quiet because they don't realize what skills they have. We're all blessed with skills that God gave us. And it's up to us to be able to find our skills and not only use that skill, but to be able to implement it. From personal experience, sometimes fear can be paralyzing. There are times when I know exactly what I'm supposed to be doing, but I get so overwhelmed with not doing it right or maybe not being able to do it that I just end up doing nothing. Friends, you are going to have days such as these, but I challenge you to change those days I challenge you to think differently. You see, when I have days like these, I have to take it back to the basics. And then I have to remember the reasons why I am going to succeed. And that is because of my inner drive and my why. Now, some of you might be thinking, my why? What is that? Well, my friends Stan defined it as the reason you get up every day, the reason you pursue your goals. Your why is your go-getter. When you lose your why, you lose your hope. And my friend Stan then mentioned his why with me, and he said, well, you know what, Ignacio? My why is pursuing all of the things that money can't buy. More freedom, more happiness, and more time with the ones I love. The more I think of them, the more I realize that I need to do whatever it takes to make that happen. My why is similar to Stan's. I'm the son of 2 immigrants. Both of my parents came from Mexico, and I am the oldest of 8 siblings. Yes, 8 siblings. We have a big family, huh? My parents and I did not grow up rich, but my parents always made sure that I had all of my basic necessities. I'm grateful to God that I always had a place to sleep, food on the table, and the support from those around me. Like many people, my parents are living paycheck to paycheck, and they do not have a retirement plan. And although my father does not mention it, I know that it troubles him in the back of his mind, knowing that he doesn't have anything set up for the future. Like many of you, I have big dreams and goals in my life. And one of them is to be able to retire my parents, because who doesn't want their parents to be well taken care of? I don't want them to fear not having enough resources after retirement, and I want them to have everything they need. I want to make sure that all of my siblings feel supported, and I want to make sure that they all pursue higher education. I aspire to be an example for my family, someone they can look up to. My family is my why. They are the reason why I continue to wake up early every day and push myself and not give up. They are the reason why I wake up early, study hard, and the reason why I am going to succeed. Every time I think about my why, I feel like a spark inside of me, a spark that pushes me to keep moving forward. Martin Luther King said, if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. The truth is that we are going to experience some sort of failure in our life, and sometimes over and over again. But finding your why is going to carry you through any obstacle that may come your way. And your why doesn't have to be your family. Maybe some of you want to start a foundation, and your why can be the lives that you're going to impact. Think about how many people you're able to serve once you finally reach your goals. You have to find your purpose, and you have to seek what drives you and what pushes you. Not succeeding at something doesn't always have to be a negative thing. Attitude and perception are everything. Have you ever tried doing your own thing and straying away from God? So you walk away from God, but then you see God reeling you in and you come back to Him? Yeah, that's happened to me before. You see, sometimes failing at something doesn't always have to be bad. It can simply be as simple as God redirecting you to take on a different path. After all, our plans are not God's plans. Can I hear an amen? Amen. That is where I'm at right now. I feel like God is redirecting my path, and I feel as though if God is shifting me over and He wants me to be a service to others, and not only to others, but to be able to service my community. Friends, I challenge you today. I want you to think of what you want to do, what drives you, and the person you want to become. And when you feel afraid of failing, remember that it is okay to fail. You know, sometimes we learn from our failures, but we got to keep pushing forward. The only time we ever truly fail is when we give up, because we always have something to be grateful for. And remember to ask yourself critical questions. Remember to focus on your why. And most importantly, remember to walk with God. Because God will always walk with us, but it is up to us to be able to walk with God as well. And lastly, remember to push forward, because I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I want you to repeat it with me. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Now, doesn't that feel good? Whew. The next step is yours. We're all blessed with gifts, unique talents that God gave us to be able to impact the lives of others, to be able to spread His message, to be able to touch the lives of others. God didn't make us to be ordinary. He made us to be extraordinary. Friends, imagine what we could accomplish together if we weren't afraid.